I'm realizing now that 3 out of 4 of my recommends are from 1995. I don't know what it is about that year, but it gave me a lot. Hi, I'm Mitski, and this is my starter pack of cultural essentials. I think even though she's world famous with millions of fans, I still think she's underrated because yes, she's the greatest singer in the world, but also she doesn't get enough credit for her songwriting. She's written amazing songs over many years consistently, and she's really innovated in recorded music. And I don't know, I just think she's a genius, and people don't realize that she is a genius. Mariah Carey is one of my favorite artists. The album I'm gonna recommend from her is Daydream, just because that was the very first album I ever bought, like that I chose as a child to buy. And of course I love all of her albums, but this one's really special to me because it was the first time I heard her voice. The first time I was like, this is what music could be. This is wild. So I'm a forever fan, and we should really respect her as a multifaceted artist. So this next show came out on the BBC in 1995. It's an adaptation of a book, which because of this show I read, by Jane Austen. And after this show, I read all of Jane Austen, and I can't recommend Jane Austen enough. She wrote hundreds of years ago, and yet I, as an adolescent, reading Jane Austen, I was like, this feels like a really smart friend is gossiping to me, you know? So anyway, the show is 1995's Pride and Prejudice series on the BBC. Very formative experience for me. I still think, I'm a millennial, but I still think that's the best adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. I know for younger generations, it's the movie with Keira Knightley. Personally, it'll always be the 1995 BBC series.
I will never understand why you are in such a rage to approve of everything and everyone that you meet.
Usually when I'm asked about what my favorite book is, I always say Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, but I think I've said that too much, and I want people to know I read more than one book. So this next one was published much more recently than Shirley Jackson. I believe it was published in 2020. It's another house book. Haunting of Hill House is obviously a house book, but Piranesi by Susanna Clarke is also a house book. So after I read it, I recommended it to everyone I could think of. And everyone who did read it got back to me with completely different reactions to the ending. And I think that's such an interesting barometer of how people see life and see the world, because I thought the ending was the most beautiful, uplifting thing. And then another friend said, that was so sad. So I highly recommend to see what you think about the ending. The movie that's really meaningful to me also came out in 1995. This is considered a kid's movie, but I think you can watch it as an adult and you'll still be hit by it, you'll still cry about it. And I actually watched it quite recently as an adult, and the one thing I will say that's negative but of its time is that I didn't remember that all the animals have like CGI moving mouths. That was really distracting, unfortunately, but that was just the technology of its time. The movie is Babe. Ugh. It's just a perfect movie, a perfect narrative. I think the great thing about a lot of like kids' movies and TV from the time is that you could understand it and follow it and love it as a kid, but you could be an adult and watch it and get so much out of it. I feel like there are so many lessons from that movie that are still important to me today. There's a lot of like hard stuff, actually, like kind of like hidden in there, enough so that like kids get a sense of it, but also you don't have to understand it yet. And when you watch it as an adult, it's like, this still feels important and relevant.